welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review on the new Royal Peach palette by Kylie Cosmetics. Well, I don't know if it's that new because I think we're going to go into the third release of it. I think it's been out for maybe like a month or so. I just got it on the second release about a week and a half ago. It was shipped to my house. And yeah, so basically when you get it, it comes in this long container and it has her really pretty eyes on there. As you can see in this video, I was kind of inspired by the look on the box. As you can see, it is a really big palette. It's long and it's rectangular, and I actually really do like the shape because I think it fits nicely in my drawers, which I know is not really important, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So when you open it, this is what it looks like. It says Kylie in rose gold. It is really, really pretty. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. It does feel really sturdy, which I like. When you open it, it has that nice oblong mirror. Really, really handy for, you know, travel and doing your makeup on the go. When you open it up, this is what it looks like. It has 12 shades and it comes with a brush and it goes right here. It was in a little sleeve, but I took it off. And the names are on the back, just like normal. So if you guys want to see how to get this eye look using the Kylie Cosmetics Peach Royal palette and also hear a few of my thoughts on the shadows and all that stuff, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I'm going to start out by taking a mixture of Sorbet and Sandy, which are the two lightest matte shades in this palette, and I'm taking it on a Morphe M551 and I'm building it up into my crease. I'm trying to get a really nice blown out look. And then I'm going to move on to Peachy, which is a nice peachy shade. How original of me. And then I'm just going to use the same brush and put it a little bit lower than the first two colors. Then I'm moving into Cinnamon, which is that nice rusty reddish brown matte shade with the Kylie Cosmetics brush that comes in the palette. And as you can see, it doesn't look too dark on the eyelid. It's more of a vibrant reddish color. I don't know if it was because we put peachy underneath, but I don't know, it didn't really look as brown as it does in the palette, which I'm not mad at. Then I'm using my MAC 252 and using Mojito, which is that nice chartreuse gold color, and using the tip to kind of cut my crease and clean up the edges. And then I'm going to move into Duke, which is that nice rusty shimmer color. I had to spray my brush really, really heavy to get that pigmentation because for some reason it just wasn't as metallic as the other shades in the palette. Then I'm going to go back in with that Kylie brush and kind of just blend out the edges and then blend Cinnamon onto my lower lash line. And then I'm going to use Royal, which is the blue color, and a nice Morphe smudger brush and just use that right along the edge of my lash line, my lower lash line. But as you can see, as I was like blending it out, it started losing a lot of the pigmentation, so I decided to wet my brush and pat it on. But it was kind of frustrating because I didn't like how stark it looked, and so I had to keep blending it out, but I mean, whatever, it is what it is. I like the way it looked, but I'm just going to take Seashell and place that in my inner corner. One thing I do notice though is that it doesn't have a very bright inner corner highlight, which I wish it had, but yeah. Okay, so I know when you look straight at this palette, it's a little intimidating because the colors are a bit brighter, a bit more springy, and especially since we're in winter, a lot of people won't tend to gravitate towards these colors. So formula-wise, I think the mattes are very soft and blendable. They are not as creamy as, let's say, Anastasia shadows. The only problem I have with this palette is that when I was creating this look, I went to go dip into, you know, one of these with my brush for a darker shadow. So she doesn't have any dark brown or even slightly a deep brown in this palette. As you can see, the darkest one is going to be this one, and surprisingly, this is probably one of my favorite mattes in this palette. I think it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous reddish orange brown. It reminds me of Sienna from Anastasia or Brown Script by MAC. But I really like this because I feel like it still looks a little bit different. Anywho, my point was she doesn't have a dark shadow, which I can kind of understand because she doesn't tend to wear too dark of eye looks. So I do get that this was based off of her peach look that she did. I'll insert a picture right here. But I still kind of think that it could have used something to, you know, make it a little bit more versatile and make it more of like a one palette type of look, if you guys get what I'm saying. So I'm going to move on to the swatches of this palette, and then I'll show you guys which ones are my favorite and which ones I think aren't that great. Okay, so the first shade that we have is called Sorbet. It's that really peachy transition shade that you find on the very right. And then moving on to, let's see here, Duchess, which is a really nice rose gold copper shimmer shade. I really like this one. Then we have Seashell. This is probably one of the prettiest shimmers in this palette. It's more of a purpley pink. It's definitely more of like a rose gold, a true rose gold. It doesn't have much copper to it. It has a little bit more purpley undertones. And then we have Sandy, which is that nice grayish brown transition shade. Really pretty for the crease. And then we have Peachy, which is obviously that vibrant peach shade. And then we have Mojito, which is that green shimmer shade that I used on my lid. I really like this. Then we have Royal, which is obviously the blue, as you can see. North Star, which is that really pretty purpley color. It's a shimmer. And then we have Queen Bee, which is more of like a bronzy, golden, almost with reddish undertones to it. It's a shimmer. And then we have Crush, which is more of like a reddish peach, and that's a matte. Then we have Duke, which is that really nice rusty sienna almost color, which we used on my lid as well. And then finally Cinnamon, which is that nice cinnamony red matte shade. So as I was playing with these and obviously trying to swatch them on my arm, there's no primer under it, which I just want to let you guys know, but I noticed the mattes are extremely powdery and almost chalky. I didn't really notice it too much as it was going on my eyes today and then the few other times I've used them, but they are very, very chalky. If that bothers you, then I would definitely skip this palette because all the mattes are exactly like that. I don't know if it's the same formula as the Burgundy palette, but I don't find it as chalky. They still work though. It doesn't bother me. They still blend out really nicely. They still have, you know, pretty good pigmentation. It's not the best, but I still really like them. I am really disappointed by the blue in this palette. It is so powdery and chalky. Like, I couldn't even, no matter what, get a good swatch of it on my arm. Like, it looks so patchy. I mean, maybe it blends out nicely on in the crease or however you're going to use it, but when I used it to pack it under my lash line, I even had to use it wet to try to get the powder to stick in one place, but it was just going everywhere and then it was losing a lot of its pigmentation. So I'm not a fan of this blue, but I am going to give it another try, like in the crease or maybe just packed on the lid, but as of right now, I'm not really a fan of it. As far as the shimmers go, I like them. They're not amazing. I feel like once you use Fix Plus or some type of spray to wet your brush, or maybe even like a glitter glue underneath, they work so much better. I noticed with the green on my lid, which is called Mojito, they're very dry compared to a lot of the other shimmer shades like in the Burgundy palette, and then even in the Holiday palette, that silver is a lot creamier. These are a lot drier. You can even tell in the pan, like they just look drier and feel drier. Overall, I think it's a really pretty palette. I think it's a nice palette to have. I like the color scheme, like I've said in this video already. It is a really good palette to have for spring, just to have all these really nice, bright, vibrant colors in one palette. But is it worth it? I don't really think so, because if you have single shades that are from Anastasia or Makeup Geek that are kind of similar to this, I honestly think those would probably be a lot better. One thing I did want to touch on really fast was the brush that comes with the palette though. It's very reminiscent of the Morphe M433 or the MAC 217. It has like a little pretty gold handle with white, and it says Kylie on the front. It doesn't have like a name or anything to this brush, but I'm actually very impressed with it. It really does remind me of the Morphe M433, which is a staple in my collection. It blended out the shadows really nicely. I was actually quite shocked of how good this brush is, because I even had my MAC 217 here to kind of go in and blend it out, because I didn't think it was going to do that great of a job, but it really does. It picks product up nicely, and it blended out that cinnamon color really, really well. Okay, so overall my thoughts are that it is a nice palette, but I don't think it's $45 worth if you already have the shadows. If you don't, then give it a try. I'm not sure when the next release date for this is going to be, because I got it on the second release, like I said, but I'm sure it'll come out again, and I'm sure, you know, she'll release it again. I do like it, but it's not my favorite. My favorite of hers is still the Burgundy palette. I think that palette is amazing, and it is worth the $40. You do get 3 more shades and a brush for $5 more, so I do think it is a little bit better of a value compared to her other palettes. So again, it is up to you guys if you want to try it. I do like it. I just don't think it's go run out and get it worthy, if you guys get me. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.